Hello everybody and welcome back to Atelier Meruru. After spending a couple of days off screen, I've got a few things accomplished and I've got a bit of a plan for this video. I hope we're going to be keeping very busy. The first thing that I did was I made the living saws. I made 2 of them at B quality, and the next thing we have to do is deliver lumber. Now we need 5 pieces of lumber that have the trait of resist fire level 2. And we're actually going to get those from the Ant Forest, where we haven't actually been before. So we'll be going to a new location, and we're only going to have to deliver 5 pieces instead of 50, thank God, because that would take forever. Also on the way, we're going to hopefully develop the paths from the Luminous Cave and from the Land of Mirages. We're going to do a lot of development today on the eastern side of the map, and I think that's about it. I just want to go ahead and get started. Hannah has also had another bulletin posted, and I always forget to read them. So let's read the bulletin before we go, just so it doesn't get forgotten about, because that tends to happen to me a lot of the time. So again, everything is doing fairly well. I haven't constructed anything this month, which kind of blows me away. I think just because things are costing a little bit more. So that's what the issue looks like. It's the 3rd month issue, so this is a brand new thing to look at. And I wonder if Philly has any sort of quests. I did a few of the requests a little bit earlier off screen. I did one for Totri and one for Rorona, and it doesn't look like anything's really refreshed since the last time I was here. I have almost 20,000 gold. So I did a little bit of work off screen. Gonna come back to Arles later and maybe spend some money. But without any further ado, I think it's time to move on. So we need to deliver some stuff to the Cape. However, we don't want the Ant Forest to move, so we want to travel to the forest and pick up our pieces of lumber first and foremost. Because you may or may not have seen it on the world map when I come out here, but the Ant Forest does periodically move around, and right now it's actually in a perfect location. It's accessible to us, and we actually need to be here and here, so it really worked out great for me.
So this is what it looks like on the inside. It feels so strange. Definitely not like a normal forest. I know Rufus said it was dangerous, but I wonder what kind of scary monsters I might see. Well, it doesn't hurt to be cautious. I'll just move nice and slow, and maybe find some rare materials.
Alright, so if we remember, quite a long time ago, the Ant Forest caused a bit of an earthquake, or, you know, the ground started to shake and Totri thought there was an earthquake. However, the forest moves around, which causes the ground to shake, and that's because it's a pretty big forest, as you can see here. And Rufus pretty much forbid us to come here because the monsters are out of our league, and Ant Forest is a very old forest that's not really to be reckoned with. But luckily we don't have to go very far. You can see here that these iron trees all have the trait of resist level 2. And as far as I know, this is the only place to get the pieces of wood with that trait. But my memory might be a little bit off. However, it's pretty easy to come in here because, like I said, you only have to come to the first level of the Ant Forest. You don't have to go too far in, because some of these enemies are pretty tough. Some of them may look familiar. I do believe there's 4 stories on this tree. There might be 3. There's 3 or 4 stories, and there's a little mini boss on each level. So I managed to defeat Ant, the boss of this area, my last playthrough, but I was almost level 50. and it was very hard, so I doubt we'll be able to actually come in here and defeat him this time. However, if I ever get the chance, I'll be sure to record a boss battle of it. But we will come back later. We'll come and we'll see how far we can get up in the tree, and we'll be able to come see some of the rare materials we can get. But for now, I only needed 5 of those, and I've managed to grab them, so that's perfect. That's all I needed. Just gonna leave here. It's quite the climb. I almost feel like I'm in a bouncy castle when I'm in that place. Anywho, so now we're going to connect this road with this road by going to the Luminous Cave. This is one of the areas that we have to develop. And joy, we get to see some more pixies, because those are my favorite enemies. We also do get to see some new materials. Black ores and pollutant are both new materials that we haven't ever collected before, so that's kind of cool. I can't think right now of what they can specifically be used for. Nothing comes to mind. Pollutant, I think, is used way later on. But I'm pretty much just a person to collect things when I see it. Black ore, I think, can be used to synthesize ingots and things like that, so if you're not sure, I would pick it up, store it, and then if you need it later on, you can always send your homs over to come and get it for you, if you desperately need it. But these crystal pixies we've seen before, they're nothing too tough. Especially not at this point, with the party we have, so I'm gonna just wipe these guys off the map with no problem. Get some ghost drops, which are nice. I always like having wisp stones. They always seem to come in handy when I least expect it. It's one of those items where I never think to have it, and then when I do need it, I don't have any of them. I do believe my basket's relatively empty as well. So that's nice. Meruru's almost going to level up, which is also good. 10 more points for us for developing that path. The kingdom can also rank up. We just hit 1,000, so that's going to be awesome. We can rank up next time and see what other kind of cool things we can build when we get back. I'm pretty excited for that. So here's our next new path. We've nearly connected it all. And I'm so glad I went to the Ent Forest because as you can see, it's going to move. And it's going to move to an area that we can't actually get to. So I actually did that planning in advance, and I'm so glad that that actually worked out in my favor. I was very lucky. Alright, so here we go. This is another misty, foggy area. I do believe we've seen one of these areas before. This has all new drops and new enemies. There's only 2 of these guys. These are behemoths. And there was one at Quayle Forest before you fixed the area up. He's in the background. And although this guy has boss music, I wouldn't really consider him a boss. However, he is a pretty powerful enemy. He attacks quite frequently. His attacks do quite a bit of damage, and he has a lot of defense. So I would say that if you're having troubles with this guy in your playthrough and you're maybe around level 30, then that's probably pretty normal. Just use as many items or buffs as you need to. Like I said, they're not anything special. They don't have anything like a one-hit KO move or anything that's particularly devastating. Warcry can do quite a bit of damage. Luckily, I defended against it. But as soon as they defeat it, they actually go up into like this big, cool purple smoke like you saw, which was pretty neat. And you get a behemoth heart. Now, the behemoth heart I think you can only get from these particular enemies, so you have to farm them if you need them. And I think I only needed them for one particular synthesis in the game, like way later on. But by that time I had already gotten rid of the heart, which kind of miffed me a little bit. So I wouldn't say that the behemoth hearts are particularly useful. However, they will be later on, but you can always come back here and farm these enemies if you need to. That's pretty much the only thing that they drop as far as I know. So, you know, just the usual strategy. Come in with some healing items if you need it, some attacking items. don't be afraid to use items. That's pretty much what this game is based around, is making items and delivering them and using them, so... That's easy enough though. There's only 2 of them on the map, which is also pretty nice. They give us a little bit of a break. Meruru levels up. And that should take care of this area. The materials you get around here are all also new. We've never seen these before. We've got black runestones, sea puddles, and shining saucers. So I'm going to pick those up and bring those back to the workshop. Once again, I don't think that those are all used until a later date, but I will hold on to them until that time comes. And now we have successfully joined this whole area, and that saves me from going to Ent Forest and then going all the way around, which would have probably taken me almost a month if I was to walk here and then walk there. So really glad I got those paths developed. It's much easier for me to do. So now we're going to go to the Cape and we are going to deliver all of our supplies. So they are going to be building a bridge. And this is where we deliver our saws. So here they are, 2 B quality saws. Done. Pretty easy to create. And our 5 pieces of resist fire level 2 wood. And of course keep in mind that if you don't have the 5, you will have to deliver 50, and I've already gone over that. This is when the game starts to get quite serious. If you don't have the trait that they want, they are going to make your life miserable. So get those from the Ent Forest, just go in, grab them, and get out. Pretty easy one to complete, and it's a really useful shortcut because you do get a nice bridge that connects the whole area. It's kind of funny though, because this screen is very, very small. You'll see in a minute what I mean. There's only a couple things to collect on this screen, and for whatever reason there's ghost enemies, which never really made sense to me why there's ghost enemies in this area. It doesn't seem like a very ghost-friendly place, but what do I know? I'm not a ghost, right? So the scare phantoms are new. They're just a new variety of the generic type of ghost, just a little bit of a step up from the ghost that we were seeing in Arl's mine. Nothing to really fear, I don't think. I never found them to be particularly aggressive or anything like that. The only thing you might want to watch out for is that they do come in big groups, which may or may not slow you down, depending on how well prepared your party is. But they do attack a lot. They can curse you, and they do have ice attacks. You can always put anti-ice or ice resistance on some of your equipment, which might help. And you can get quite a decent amount of experience for fighting them as well, so that's not too bad. I don't know if we have any new items to collect in this area. I think it's just the rubbish and the parasols that we were seeing here at this gather point before the bridge was built. So if you feel like you need to stock up on some of those things, then by all means go for it. I'm gonna go ahead and skip the ghost for now. Might as well fill my basket up as much as I can before I go back to Arl's. And now you can see we've got that beautiful little shortcut built. So now the eastern part of the map is all pretty much 100% accessible at this point in the game, and we've pretty much done all of the shortcuts that we can do. It's kind of a bummer that there's not a shortcut that runs right through here to Quayle Forest. Quayle Forest is a little bit out of the way, but we won't have to go there too many more times, I don't think. So we've definitely taken our travel time down by quite a bit. We don't have to loop around forests to get to where we want to go, so that's really nice. So with that, the only things that we have left are our applied tasks and our royal tasks the teacher has given us. So far we've done all of the actual development quests. We have a rank up to go and see Rufus about, and we are almost at 30,000 people, so I think we are making some pretty good progress here. I'm going to leave it off here. Next time I'm going to travel back to Arles, and we will do a couple of more things back in town before we get back to work. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you next time.